Well, joining us now to talk more about this from London is Jan Pospisil. He is a Sudan affairs analyst. Thanks very much for being with us. So here we are a year and a half into this conflict now. That's how long it's dragged on. Do you see any end to it at this point? What is your assessment of the situation at the moment?
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that this conflict is ending anytime soon. The talks between the two parties are effectively stalled and will be stalled at least until the US elections are over. And there's also hardly any chance and middle ground between these parties, especially as both still think that the only solution to this is on the battlefield.
Do you think that, I mean, obviously we've been covering events in the Middle East quite a lot over the last few months with Lebanon and Gaza and so on. Is there a sense you're getting that Sudan has become kind of a forgotten conflict here?
Yeah, I mean, it has been like that almost since the beginning of the war. It has been a problem to gain international attention in light of other conflicts that are there on the planet. It has been a bit of a change recently with the new government in the UK, for instance, taking renewed interest. There has been some efforts in the region as well, so it is not totally forgotten, but the dimension of the refugee crisis, which is, well, uncomparable in global scales, would certainly demand more effort on the global scale.
So what needs to happen for this conflict to end then? I mean, you mentioned earlier how both sides don't see any solution other than on the battlefield. Is there something that can happen to change that dynamic?
I mean, it's essentially 2 to 3 factors that need to come together. The first of which is that the substantial international support for basically both warring parties has to stop. They can both continue the fighting because they have substantial regional support. The second element is that basically the civilian forces and democratic forces are totally fragmented and in not at all on the same page. It would help a lot for any upcoming negotiations if there would be a united civilian opposition that could face these two parties. I think these two steps would be of major importance to stop the war.
And obviously all of this is leading to an ever worsening humanitarian situation, as we heard in the report before we came to you. Is that, again, another issue that is not getting enough attention to you?
I would think so. I mean, there had been negotiations on increased humanitarian access, especially since the UN released effectively a famine warning for quite some parts in Sudan. There had been reports of famine deaths recently in Kordofan, in territories controlled by the SPLM North. The problem is that both sides use humanitarian aid and as well famine as a weapon in this war. So especially also the Sudanese armed forces have no interest of humanitarian relief getting into the Darfur and other RSF-controlled areas. As long as South has to clear basically all humanitarian aid going into areas they don't control, the situation will not improve, and this is some challenge the UN has to seriously tackle.
Good to get your perspective on this, Jan Pospisil. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.